What's up? What's up?
Hi, Billy.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing great. How about
Good.
you?
Do what?
Said I'm doing great. How about you?
You guys are on time, man. That's awesome. Awesome. Brian, I'm doing fantastic. So, Thomas is going to be on in just a second. And let me see. I had a couple of announcements.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a couple of announcements, but anyway, we're going to give everybody just a second to get on. It's right at 3 o'clock. And so we kind of opened it up a little bit early. Kelly, you're the host.
Yes, sir.
All right. Johnny, Amy, I see Stan, new member Stan, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
How
Excited
do
to
you
be
say your
here.
last name, Stan?
Orlowski.
Gorlowski?
Orlowski.
Stan Orlowski. Well, welcome. Stan's a brand new movement member
Yay.
as of yesterday, right?
Yep. Got
Yeah.
onboarded today.
He got
So welcome
onboarded
to the
today.
movement.
Hey, Billy, you and Stan have something majorly in common, and I'll let Stan tell you real quick. Stan, what do you have in common with Billy?
Well, I actually have a zipper on my chest as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, November 1st, 2023.
Well,
Wow.
and things are obviously going good since then.
Yep. Back to health and following the doctor's orders.
Yeah, me too. I actually got cleared. I was going to kind of let everybody know this, but I got cleared after 4 weeks. The doctor told me, he said, you're doing in the top 1% of anybody I've ever seen. He said, I'm actually not even sure if I know if I've anybody that's ever progressed this fast. And so I attribute that a lot to what we teach: mindset, attitude, visualization, prayer, affirmation, and then setting goals. Just setting a goal every day to do a little bit more, a little bit better. And so last night I walked 2 miles about 8 o'clock last night in the dark, and
Yeah,
was able
that's
to fly to
amazing.
Florida and back this past week. My energy level's high. My mindset is really good. So anyway,
Yeah, that's fantastic because it's definitely a slow process to get back there. And then, like I said, if healthier you are mentally and physically, the faster the process.
yep, absolutely. And I see there's a few people in the meeting room. Y'all are letting them in, or in the waiting room?
Yeah, we're
All
getting them
set.
in as quick as they're coming in. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, Thomas is going to kick it off.
Yeah,
And-
welcome.
Stan.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Stan. Stan, I saw your information come over the other night, and I said, "Hey, Kelly, need you to get in contact with somebody here who looks like they want to have a conversation with us." So nice to meet you. I know you're set to come in December for our movement only mastermind, which I'm going to talk on in a few minutes here. So excited for that, and glad to see you here. Glad you're part of this movement, literally.
Yep. Thank you.
So. Before we get started, for those who've been on these calls before, you know the routine. We're going to go around the group here, and I need 3 movement members to share wins. So who would like to go around the room here and share a good positive win, something that's going on in your life personally and professionally right now? Go ahead, Sherry. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see everybody. So we are having some crazy good sales. We've got massive momentum in our sales department, and we've actually eclipsed for the last 3 months. Every single best month we've ever had has been eclipsed over the last 3 months. So it's rocking and rolling over here. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
All right, we need a boom.
Boom.
All right.
Make sure we put those booms in the chat. Awesome. Who else would like to go here? I'm going to
Justin
actually
will.
speak up for Justin Ward. Mr. Justin Ward, I don't know if you guys saw, but he posted up some real sexy photos of a new vehicle wrap that he's got for one of his branded vans. Is that the new vehicle you purchased a couple months ago, Justin?
Just last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up and then I took it straight to the wrap place, and then we got it back on Friday. And then I did some work on it this weekend and cleaned it up. And then we actually are debuting it on its first voyage Thursday with all the dogs.
Awesome. That's big right there.
By the way, man,
Did
that
that-
looks sweet. I saw it on Facebook in the movement group, and that was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice job on that.
Mhm.
I
For
gotta
sure.
win. I gotta win.
Go,
I won the
Susan.
cornhole tournament. I won the cornhole tournament in Florida.
She did, not by herself. She had a pretty good partner. And it wasn't me, by the way. I couldn't throw cornhole, but we had 50 people that worked for one of our companies down in Florida that won an incentive trip. And that's where I got cleared to go to Florida. The next day we bought a ticket. We were down there celebrating some wins with them, had a cornhole tournament, and Susan's team did win through all of the tournament. They went out to the top and won a 2-day tournament and won the grand prize. So anyway,
Bowling, now cornhole.
from bowling to
Queen.
cornhole.
They call me the cornhole queen now.
I saw Johnny
it.
Turner had his hand raised a second ago for a win.
Yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
He might have got cut off. I know I saw him.
He's here. He's
Okay.
muted.
Okay. We were sitting around the other day, didn't really have anything to do. So I said, you know what? We're going to find somebody, we're going to insulate their attic for free. Somebody who can't afford it. It's got crazy light bills. We just picked somebody we knew. We went and insulated their house, man. And we sealed up a bunch of roof leaks that they had just because, we love them and God loves us.
Very cool.
Nice.
It's a nice way to get back.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And that goes along with what we're talking about today, building and developing that reputation, putting yourself out there, getting yourself out there consistently in front of everybody. And so,
Yeah.
see a heart going up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, can I
for sure.
introduce somebody on here real quick?
Sure.
We got Ryan Botner. I just saw him come in the room. Ryan, are you here?
I am. Thank you,
I
Kelly.
wanted to say hello. Brian is a dear friend of mine. He is a guest of mine today. Has been talking a lot about Billy and Thomas and the movement, so I invited him. I've known Ryan for a long time. Big personality, heart for people, and a heart for Jesus. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Ryan. Ryan, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. Welcome. Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Ryan.
Welcome, Ryan. Awesome. Okay, so several of you here on the call know about this. Several of you, I'm giving you a gentle, kind reminder and nudge. We have our upcoming movement day. This is coming up November 4th, and we have a mastermind set for you guys only. You cannot get into this room, into this meetup, unless you're an active movement member. And Billy informed me earlier today, and I know we've been having a couple rumblings and talking about this, but it is 100% confirmed. We haven't even told you guys about this. We are going to have a welcome reception on Wednesday evening before that Thursday meetup. It's going to be here at our office. We'll get the details of that together as soon as we can and let you guys know exactly what time to show up. But what I'm trying to do here is gently, kindly remind everybody this is the last meetup that we have for the year. So if you have not yet filled out your RSVP form, please do so. If you need the link sent to you again, or if you need to speak to Kelly or myself about it, please reach out, raise a hand, drop something in the comments. We want to get as many of you as possible into that room. We've got some cool stuff planned for it, and it's always a good time to see everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you guys. And that's December 3rd and 4th, right,
Yeah.
Thomas? Yep.
Yes, it is December. The 3rd is going to be the reception.
Yeah.
On that evening of Wednesday. Then we have December 4th is going to be all movement clients. December 5th is reserved in the office only for our Empire Builder clients. We have a room block as well. If you guys are going to be staying in that hotel where the event is being hosted, which is the Courtyard Marriott, close here to the office, let us know if you need that link so we can get it over to you. We have a deadline. We have a cutoff of November 21st, which is not this Friday, the Friday after. That is the cutoff date to book under our room block and get a discounted rate for the hotel. So I know some of you folks here are local. That's not an issue, but the folks who are going to be traveling in and need a room to stay in, we've got the hotel room block rate locked down for you. So take advantage of it while you can. All right. Last week, Billy kicked off part 1 of owning your reputation. Today, we're going to handle part 2 of that. And Billy really jumped in and talked a lot collectively with the group about the power of owning your niche and defining what you do better than anyone else. Today is going to take us deeper into what comes next, how to deliver every time and how to amplify your results so the world knows your true value. And I think that's something that's important for all of us, regardless of how long we've been in business. And Michael Seitz brought up the question last week, and it was, well, how do you amplify and tell the world how good you really are without sounding overconfident or cocky, which is a really good question. So without further ado, Mr. Billy Cox, let you dive into that, sir.
All right, guys. Well, listen, man, last week it was 2 weeks ago. How many of you were on the call 2 weeks ago? If you were, just hit into the chat or raise your hand, say boom, do something. But we have had more positive feedback, I believe, from that call than any call we've ever had. Develop a reputation. And what we tell everybody, and what I've learned, is you want to develop a reputation of being the very best in the world at what you do. And then deliver every time. And a lot of people says, what happens when you don't deliver? Then you deliver even more. And what I mean by that is you get the opportunity to go back sometimes to someone that may not be completely happy with everything that you've done and fix it, make it right. And whatever that takes to make it right, you make it right. Today, reputation is more important than ever. So I want to express the urgency of what we're talking about. How many of you believe that AI right now, how many of you are utilizing AI in some form of your business? How many of you, when you're out there looking on the internet and you're watching videos, or you're even seeing something come in on the email, you're wondering, is it true or not? So part of what you want to become is you want to become that trusted expert. But here's the challenge. So I'm going to go, here's the problem, here's the pain, here's what's going on. I believe we only have a certain amount of time to do that. And what I mean by that is a year from now or 2 years from now, people are going to be so inundated with AI content, they don't know what's real or what's not. They're going to be driven down so many different paths, and they're going to wind up that path is the wrong path. And so your time to develop that reputation, to build your customer base, to build those relationships that we talked about last week is, everybody say now. And I believe it's now more than ever. If you think we're going to wait, and this is something you can put off and something you can delay, well, in January, I'm going to get started. Well, then in March, I'm going to get started. At the end of next year, I'm going to really get going. Okay, you've got something else coming, because AI is going to dominate that. They're doing everything they can to create every bot that they can to draw people in. And you go, well, how do I stand out? How am I going to dominate my niche? And the first thing we said last week, I don't know if everybody remembers, but it was to dominate your niche. You remember that? Your niche. So we were like niching down, and we go, how can we completely niche down? Before you niche out, because I see so many people that they want to come in and go, I just want to be the best in the world at 8 different things. And that's not really possible. What you have to do is you have to go, I'm going to be the best in the world at what I do. And what am I delivering that's better than anyone else? So we gave you some homework. And some of the homework was to, list and drill down to what is that potential niche that you dominate. Now, how many of you actually, went home or did some of the homework and really worked on this as far as what is my niche? What is my area of expertise that I can own? And the word you want to write down is that you can own out there in your industry. Now, you may be going, I want to own it, globally. Before you can own it globally, you need to own it locally. Okay. Now, if you're owning it locally, then you can take it out to the next level. I want to own it in my state. I want to own it in my, potentially in my country, etc. So, we've got to start where we are with what we have. Okay. But remember, number one was owning this niche, but figuring out what your niche is. And we said to go home and think of 1 to 2 hyper-specific problems that you solve better than anyone in the world. So how many of you, okay, I love the in the chat, but how many of you took some time to go, what is the problem I solve better than anyone in the world? Because I talked to you guys about, and one of the things that I shared is how we were able to, start when I was, 17 years old, and I developed a reputation as this young salesperson that was going out and just, crushing it as this young guy, within the company, and eventually I started, this office, and in this office as this young guy, developed that reputation of, of being the best at what I did in this, small office in a town where literally 2 other people had failed. And they put me in it, as 20 years old. They didn't want to, but I had earned the right to have that office. But eventually we turned that into 16 office and became the fastest growing, not just office, we became number 1 in the world, the fastest growing region within our company. And as the company's sales were tanking, our sales were doing this. People were coming from all across the country wanting to see what we were doing. So we were developing a reputation. And then they wanted me to come in and run the company, and the company's sales were down. We brought our systems and processes into the company, and we built all the sales back and become the largest company in our niche out there. And to make a long story short, and I shared it last week, but I want to share it with everybody again because it's important. And I'm not telling or sharing this with anybody to impress you, but really it is to impress upon you the importance of developing that reputation. Because me and that company parted ways after 10 years. And as I was sharing last week, we had to start over again at the very bottom. We really had nothing, but the one thing that we had, and the one thing we had developed, is a reputation. Guys, and we started and in our own niche, and we got super clear. So remember this, we teach clarity is power, right? So you're clarifying your niche. We started in our niche. We started with a goal. We started with a plan, and we went from zero to 100 million per year in sales in 5 years. And you go, well, how did you do that fast from zero? Well, we didn't really start from zero because we had developed a reputation. So as we started and we started growing, a lot of people knew about us already because we had developed that reputation. Is that making sense with everybody? So the one thing that you have, even if everything else, if you had to start over tomorrow, the one thing you have is your experience. And the other thing you have is behind that experience is your reputation. So reputation matters. And in my opinion, it matters more than anything. And every single day you're developing and you're building a reputation. So one of the things we also shared last week was if you want to develop that reputation, you've got to get clear on not just what your niche is, but who are the competitors in your market that are doing well. Because most of the time within your niche, you've got other people. How many of you have competitors? As drilled down as you go into your niche, how many of you have some competition? So one of the things and one of the most important things that you can do is you research and figure out who is your competition that's doing better than you. How many of you have competition that you feel like is probably doing better than you are? They're scaling more than you are. They've scaled more than you are. They're faster, have done it faster than you have. So research your competition, figure out what they're doing well, but also figuring out what they're not doing well. Figure out what you stand for, because when you're developing a reputation, what you stand for is just as important. And guys, I want to reemphasize this as we move forward today. What you stand for is just as important. I'm sorry, what you stand against is just as important as what you stand for. So you need to know, here's what I stand for. Here's what we do better than anybody else in the world. And also, here's what we stand against. Here's the bad guys out there. Okay, here's the things that we will never do. Here's what our non-negotiables are. Okay, so is everybody following? So last week we talked about some things you can do as far as building relations, as far as taking your phone, you know, the contacts in your phone, reconnecting with some people. How many of you had some people or went to your phone list and reconnected with someone that maybe you hadn't reconnected with in a while? And I'm putting you on the spot because a lot of times we get on a call like this and we have great intentions. Because everybody has said, man, that call last week crushed it. That call last week was awesome. Man, we're so excited. We're going to be the best in the world at what we do. We're going to develop a reputation. But what actions, here's my questions. What actions have you taken this week that were uncomfortable? What is something you did that was different than you did before? Because only new actions are going to get new results. Now, if you're okay with past results, then that's okay. But if you're not okay, then it's going to take stretching. It's going to take growing. And the reason I'm recapping last week, and I'm kind of getting in your face a little bit here, is because we cannot remain the same. We're either moving forward or we're fading fast. You know, there's this old saying, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to what? And I know everybody's muted out, but you're going to keep getting, I see your boy, I see everybody going, we're going to keep getting what we always got. And I want you to write down, everybody, I want everybody just to type in the chat, not true. If we keep doing what we've always done, your business will not be where it is right now, 1 year from now. I'm 100% certain of that. Things are moving at nano pace. Things are moving at nano pace. It's rapid acceleration. It's accelerated change. Things will not remain the same. We've got to be out there pushing and pressing every single day and demanding more of ourselves. Demand more of yourself than others expect. And I'd like for you to write that down. Demand more of yourself than your customers expect. Demand more of you. Get to set those standards. And see, if you're going to develop a reputation, you have to decide, what are those standards? What are my non-negotiables? What is the minimum delivery? So the next thing, as we're moving forward, you know, we're talking about number 2, which is delivery. So master your niche, but now you got to deliver, right? Develop a reputation of delivering and being the best in the world at what you do and delivering every time. So now it's delivery. What are you delivering? What is the minimum standard that you have for what you're delivering? So write this down. Write down over delivery baseline. So who on the call right now, let's get some participation. Who on the call feels like that you deliver more than anybody else in your market that you're niched in? Like you are the go-to person. Amy, can you unmute and share why you feel that way?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a realtor. I work with investors, and you know, I hear it from all the time that other realtors aren't working for investors the way they do. So they get my time. I don't just help them find a place. I'm driving the roads looking for distressed properties and finding the owners and calling them. So I'm out doing what most investors do before they ever call their realtors. So just one of the things that I do in that niche. I work with investors primarily.
And the thing that you deliver that your competition don't is
Service.
service. And
Service.
so let's drill it
Okay.
down. Let's go.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So over and above. So from what they expect for an average realtor, when they call me and give me a property, they want me to see what I can find out on it. But I'm already finding properties that aren't even on the market, doing what most of them do, driving around, hitting the roads all the time, looking for properties that are distressed that I know they're going to be interested in, and calling those people and asking them, are you selling? Is, you know, the property looks vacant. What's your plans with it? Just sitting and making those phone calls, and then they can get me pretty much anytime up until 8 o'clock at night. They don't get me after that, but gotta have boundaries. But just over delivering from what they've ever received from other realtors that work with them.
So last week we talked about making, and Jay will get, I see Jay has raised his hand. We talked about making a big claim. So you need to make this so the world knows what you are. So what is your big claim, or have you thought about that since last week? Okay. So I want you guys to be thinking again, what is the big claim that you can make that you do better than anybody else? Because guys, we can be building, we can have the best product, Amy, as she's talking here, and we got to be clear. See, we teach everybody clarity is power. The more clear you are about what you do, the more likely you are to be able to share what you do with the world. The more clear you are about what is the big claim that I can make, that I literally deliver and I'm the best at, that I can be bold and I can be brazen and say, I do this better than anybody. Because you want to be able to go out there and shout out to the world and let the world know that, hey, here, I'm delivering this. And I've got all these people that I've delivered it for, right? I've got all the people that I've delivered it for, and they're all potentially shouting it out, because we're talking about now consistent delivery. They're all shouting it out. They're all letting everybody know, because we're going consistency and amplify. Step 2 is being consistent. Step 3 is amplify. But we can only amplify what we've claimed. So what is your big, bold claim that you do better than anybody in the world? And guys, remember, when I started this earlier, this is urgent. The next year has to be your year. You need to approach the last 2 months, you know, it's 45 days till Christmas, 17 days until Thanksgiving. Okay. As you're approaching Thanksgiving, as you're approaching Christmas, as you're approaching the new year, what are you going to do different? What are you going to do different January 1st? And you go, well, let me think about it. You need to be doing it now. So every day you should get up and say, do it now, do it now, do it now. We had a great call last week. We said, make a big claim. We said, here's 3 or 4 action steps that you can take this way to do it. But yet a lot of people, when I said, raise your hand, what you did on homework, it wasn't that much. So we're going to wait, but yet somebody else is out there doing it every single day. So remember and write it down again, and we're going to have some shirts ready at our December event, but MFA. What does that stand for? Somebody type it in the chat. And the first person that does gets the first shirt for free. There you go. Amy got it. Amy, you get a shirt for free. Massive focused action. So if we're taking action, sometimes we can go in circles, right? And Jay, I know you're up next, but I want everybody, I'm going to get in your face on this. Focused action, clear action. What are my goals? What are the things I want to, what are the most important things? How am I going to deliver them? What is my plan? And then every single day you're focused on that and you're taking action, because action will get a result, but you can go in circles over and over again without being focused. But when you get focused action, you get tunnel vision, you eliminate the distractions, you say, this is moving me further away from my goal. I'm not scrolling anymore. Everything I'm doing is intentional, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But when I'm intentional and uncomfortable, then I'm going to get a result. I'm going to analyze that result. And if the result, either I'm learning from it or it's something I want to do more of. And I'm going to do less of what's not working and more of what's working. And you do it every day. And when you do that, you build momentum and you start to move with speed and you start to move with precision. And then your competition, you're not just outworking them, but you're working smarter than they are and you're more focused than they are. Because focus is a superpower. But most people today, you have so many distractions that it's super hard to stay super focused. And so, Jay.
Yeah, so I was just going to build this backwards. So what made us a little bit different and what our competitors, after talking to them, think was crazy. So we pay our QC department. So for everybody that doesn't know, I supply leads for roofing contractors all over the country. And we pay our QC department for denials. In other words, if QC denies a call center lead for some reason and kicks it back before it gets to the contractor, we incentivize QC to do so. And so what does that mean big picture wise? It means time saved. And a lot of these roofing contractors sell $1 million plus. If they're working 40 hours a week for 50 weeks out of the year, it means for every hour that we waste in windshield time by giving them a bad lead, it costs $500 an hour. So what we do differently is to make sure that our contractors are not spending windshield time. So we have an 82% sit rate with our leads, which means that only whatever that is, 17% of the time, they'll have a no-show or somebody denied the inspection, but 82% of the time they actually get to do the inspection and sit, which saves them hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of the year, as long as they stick with us for the entire year. So
what is your big, bold claim?
Yeah, that our big claim is that you're going to take little money and turn it into big money with us, right? But that's through several different routes, right? We're going to help you close more deals, but then also we're going to help you be significantly more efficient, right? $1 million sales reps worth $500 an hour. $2 million sales reps worth $1,000 an hour. If they're running after bad leads and wasting time, then that's an efficiency problem. So we're going to help you sell more. We're going to help you be more efficient. We're going to help you get your name out there. So that's kind of what we do.
So there's two things.
Yep.
And I want everybody to be thinking about this for your industry. But what is the biggest challenge that your competitors, or the biggest frustration that people that buy the leads from you, roofers, right?
Yep.
Roofers are buying leads from you. What is the biggest frustration that roofers have doing business with a company like yours?
Wasted time. A lot of times. So most of my competitors only sit at like a 56% rate. So our sit rate is almost 30% higher than what our competitors are across the board.
So are you the best at the world at your sit rate?
Bar none. Absolutely.
Okay. So you're the best at the world at saving roofers time.
And we've invested in that end of it where most roofers don't even have a QC department. So I'll give you an example. In August, only 68% of the leads that were generated actually made it to the roofers.
Yeah.
Because they got kicked back by QC in some way. That's the biggest month my QC department had. And I'm not upset about paying QC. If they're stopping the leads because of qualifications or it was a bad call or whatever it may be, most of the time it's some ticky-tacky thing that we can call back and re-engage the customer and get the answer. Some of my contractors, they'll take 5-year-old roofs, but then some of them will take 10-year-old roofs, and they might get swapped up on that, whatever it may be. They might be able to call and re-engage the customer back. But my competitors think that that's crazy that I incentivize my QC department, but that's what makes us more efficient than anybody else.
Okay. And so you can make that big claim. We're the best in the world at setting at appointments. Somebody's getting in the room, at appointments, right?
Yeah.
You're the best in the world at setting appointments, which saves them time and makes them money. So they're buying back their time by using you and increasing their income potential exponentially. Income potential.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So is everybody tracking what he just did? I mean, out of everybody in his niche, He says, I'm the best in the world at appointment setting, quality appointments that stick. Who else wants to share? What are you what do you feel like your big bold claim is? By the way, last week I understand a lot of you couldn't figure out what your big bold claim is because we hadn't got to this part of it. All right. But now we're on delivery. So on delivery, I want you to be thinking about this. What are 5 non-negotiable standards? 5 things that when you're delivering, and maybe you say, I can't find 5. What are 2? We'd like for you to find 5 things that you deliver to someone, to your customer, that they pay good money for, that is literally a non-negotiable, that we do it every time. And remember, that is called our over-deliver baseline. Now, Jay, you just said, hey, I mean, you named a big one. That's a giant one. But if you could come up with 3 or 4 more, that you go, here's our big, bold, here's the 5 things that we literally, it's minimum. And everybody on your team knows it. It's an expectation. It's a standard that you set. Who wants to share?
I'll share.
Yes.
So we have a really large network of referral partners that send business to us, and their biggest challenge that they've had over years and years is that they'll send a referral to somebody and then they never find out what happens with that referral until they get their monthly or quarterly reporting. And so the challenge with that, of course, is that they're left wondering what happened. And so we are the very best at making sure that they get automated responses, that they get up-to-date information about what's happening. And we've also created a dashboard so that they can log in at any time and see where any of their referrals are. And so that's something that we've done better than anybody else in the industry. Another thing is that the average close rate.
Let me pause you for a second.
Oh, but wait, you want more info?
I want to pause you just for a second.
Okay.
For everybody on here, okay? You feel like you deliver that better than anyone else in the industry.
We do.
Okay, so think about this from your industry. She just said that, Jay made the claim, hey, I set 82% appointments. Nobody else in our industry does this. He can make that claim. He can run with it. Sherry just said, when you give me a referral, you know what's happened with that referral from beginning to end. That's an accountability to your client, right?
Yes.
They gave you the customer. That's also a minimum standard you've set. Now you've set a standard for your entire team. They can see it.
Yes.
It's visual. It's a scoreboard. It's something that if they're not doing it, you can inspect what you expect.
Yes, and they're called to task on it as well. And, we also encourage just that crystal clear communication back and forth. If something doesn't happen the way I promise it's going to happen, we want to know about it. And so we've got that expectation. The other thing that happens as a result of that is we just get more leads from our referral partners so when we look at the lead numbers that they put in prior to coming on board with my company and the lead numbers that they put in after, it's crazy different. And that's because people don't like to throw leads into the air. They want to know, where does that lead go to? And then you build confidence with a lead source when they know that the leads are being handled respectively and very rapidly.
So how many of you on the call get referrals from customers?
95% of our business is repeat and referral. 95.
So R&R.
Yeah.
Lead and referral. And one of the things we teach here is master referrals. You master your destiny. But Sherry made a big, bold claim that we are better than anybody at following up on referrals that you give us and, and tracking it and letting you know where that referral is at in our pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay. You had something else.
Yeah, we have quite a few things. So another thing that we do much better than anybody else is our team is trained from day one to have a +1 mentality. So if any of you guys call your credit card processing company and it's credit card processing as usual, you're going to get thank you for calling Merchant Services or some ridiculous answering service like that. Right. My team is dedicated to making sure that they not only handle the question that you came to the call with, but one more thing. It's just +1. It's part of what we do. It's measured. It's in our CRM. It's it's something that we brag about all the time when we're doing training for our referral partners. And it's quite something when you get to hear the stories from the staff members on what that +1 might be. It does not have to be related to credit card processing. But if you're listening to the client over the phone, you hear stuff. You get to hear that they may be having challenges with staffing, or they may be running into a cash flow issue that is above and beyond credit card processing. And so there's lots of opportunities, but you do have to train the team to listen for those opportunities. So that's one that's a big deal for us. It's called our +1 strategy.
Hey, everybody needs to write down. Yeah, I see some hands. Everybody give a boom and a hand. The +1. Okay, everybody write this down, plus something. So reputation, and by the way, Sherry and I didn't have this planned, but this is next on my list, is the +1. Reputation equal expectation, right? So what does your client expect? If you deliver what they expected, you've developed a reputation of delivering. But now, if you deliver the expectation +1, what have you received?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got the surprise, the wow moment. So how do they determine? A lot of people ask this question, and I'm sure everybody's thinking this. Okay, I can deliver what I said I was going to deliver, but how do I get the +1? How do you get the +1?
I mean, I can tell you what we did. We just took we spent a day as a team, and we said, what are the challenges that the businesses that we serve are facing? And there's some pretty common things. There's usually 10 strong common things that the businesses that we serve, the credit unions that we serve are facing. We know what they are. So when we train on those things, they're tuned into listening for them on the phone.
Boom. Okay, so everybody needs to think about, what is the minimum, we said a second ago, what are the minimum expectations that you have? What is the over delivery? What is the baseline for delivery that we expect every time? We're going to be there within an hour of the time that we set, or we're going to be 10 minutes early. It's fine, whatever that might be. Maybe you set an hour window, and we're going to be there within the first 30 minutes of that window that we have set with the customer. Whatever these minimum standards, 5 non-negotiable standards that you've set for delivery. We're talking about delivery, for delivering every single time. And then what is your +1? What is your surprise? What is the something that they're not expecting, but you deliver? How many of you have something on here that you deliver that the customer didn't expect? It's a +1. It's something, it's a bonus. They thought they were going to get all this, but they got something extra.
Yeah.
Even if it's a card in the mail, if it's a little gift that you sent them. By the way, I was working with somebody on branding, and at the end of the branding, and they literally, I got this hat that I'm wearing right now. They sent it. They didn't have to. It was a surprise, but it's something I'll never forget it, because I was going to buy some, I was going to get some, but I got one, as a bonus, as a surprise. So it don't have to be something great. It be something sentimental. I worked with a guy one time, and we spent over $100,000 with him to consult with us. And we did a special day with him. And after that special day, we were talking about some new marketing strategies. And the next week in our mail, we got a money tree. Now, I've never forgot the money tree. Okay. How many of you, if you got a money tree after you worked somebody on a marketing plan that came and showed up, would remember the money tree?
Yeah.
Okay. So think about that. What is the expectation, minimum expectation, the thing you're going to deliver every single time, and then plus something? And it can be just something extra special that you do that makes a difference there, that touches them or makes them remember you, and you're the go-to person that they're going to go back to, and they're going to tell 3 other people about you. All right, Sherry, do you have something else?
Yeah, I do want to share one more thing. I mean, we got lots of things, but I think this thing is really important, because so many people say, oh, our service is better. And everybody makes that claim. And the truth of the matter is there should be some people with some better customer service, because there's so many crappy customer service experiences everywhere, right? But how do we ensure that we get that great customer service? So The thing that I'm probably the most passionate about here at TMC is the fact that we do have core values. The core values spell smile in our company. The core values are taught from start to finish, and we are constantly investing in our team so that they are equipped to provide the best level of customer service. We don't just assume that they're going to come and they heard us say, hey, you need to provide great service. We are equipping them and defining what does that extra level of customer service look like. So from, John Maxwell says leaders are responsible for going first. And our job as leaders in our companies is to say, this is the standard. And then to hold that standard very, very high. So that's a really big deal for us. And if any staff member on my team makes a decision, and I've had it happen where it's cost us lots of money, where they've made a decision that I would not have made, I would not have made the same decision. But if they can back it up and say, listen, I looked at our core values and this is how it fit in, I'm back in their play every single time. And then I'm going to go into coaching mode to make sure that that doesn't happen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boom. I love that. And the smile that you deliver, one of the things when we did some business with you guys, a few days later, we got a care pack and it had a gratitude journal. It had different things. It had a personalized note. And it had the big smile from you guys, stamped all over it. So I don't know if you may want to grab that. Mark Jackson, by the way, Mark, you said, and I remember this, Mark came to our office one day and he left the book. I saw in the chat, he left a book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And it had his company information, inside of the book. So, and that's very memorable. I remember, Mark, in the parking lot, you giving me that book. So, and that's probably been a year ago. I'm not sure how long ago it's been. But anyway, we want to open it up for some questions now, some thoughts. Anybody have a question? Anybody have something they want to interact? Delivery. How are you delivering?
What was the smile in Sherry's core again? What's that acronym?
Share it, Sherry.
I'll stick it in the chat for you, but S is superior knowledge and service. The M is meaningful relationships. The I is integrity in all things, which in the credit card processing industry is funny, but it's in my company, but not in our industry. L is leaving a legacy of fun. And E is an exceptional educational experience. And all of these, by the way, have both internal and external definitions, because Dave Anderson, who's an incredibly great speaker, he said, if you do not define what your core values are, your team will define them. And if you leave it to your entire team to define the core values, you don't have core values. You have core guesses. So
that's awesome.
No guessing.
Anybody have another question, a thought or something before we move on and advance? Okay, guys, have you thought about, for you, I want to clarify this. How are you going to own your niche? How do you own your niche? What do you do? What is the one or two or three things you do that's better than anybody in the world at your niche? And then to own it, you have to claim it. You have to make this big, bold claim. Here I am, and here's what I do. And if you don't make that claim, then you're just one of many out there in the crowd. So you want to own the crowd. You want to dominate the future. You come in and you make the claim. Here's what we do better in our world, in this world that we're in. And here's how we do it better. Here's the 2 or 3 or 4 things that we do better and deliver better than anybody else. Now, once you do that, then you've got to deliver, right? So step 1 is own your niche, making the big, bold claim. Step 2 is what we just talked about. It's delivering. It's doing it. It's doing it every single time, and not just delivering. You're delivering up to the expectation. You deliver the expectation of the customer. What do they expect? They expect what you claimed. But does everybody follow? What does your customer expect? They expect what you claimed, what you said you were going to do. So you deliver that expectation plus what? A little surprise. How can you add the surprise? You go, oh, it's going to cost me $5 or $10. It's going to cost me a little extra time. It's going to cost me a phone call. It's not going to cost you. It's going to exponentially grow your business and your reputation if you do it. So it's going to cost you zero. Don't worry about the little bit of time or money that delivering extra. Guys, right now, to deliver expectation is really get up, dress up, show up. Because most people don't do that. So you can beat your competition and be in the top 20%, but just by getting up, dressing up, and showing up. But if you want to be in the top 1% and you want to dominate and you want to build it and grow it, you want to scale your business, you want to go from me to we, you want to duplicate it, you want to expand the brand, then you've got to demand more of yourself than others expect, as we shared earlier. Demand more of yourself than others expect. And then do it consistently. Remember, deliver, not just one time. It's what we do every day. I think John Maxwell says this. It's what we do every day that leads us to who and what we will be someday. Success is not a one-time thing or a sometime thing. It's an all-the-time thing. So it's what we do every single day. Consistency is better than intensity. You can be intense and you can work out once a month and it means nothing. But if you get up and you walk 3 miles every single day, then that's consistency. And that's what's going to get you results. So it's what you do over and over and over. Repetition, remember this, repetition leads to reputation. It's what we repeat that's actually going to expand our brand and get us consistent results, get us recognized, and take us to the next level. And then that comes down to the final part, which is amplify. So how do you amplify? So we're making our big, bold claim out there. We are delivering, and we're going to amplify what we deliver. How do we amplify? Anybody want to answer?
I'd love to share what we do. We give comment cards to all of our electronic now, comment cards to all of our people who use our service. But then what we do is we actually have those cards automated. They go to the referral source. And then we also contact the referral source and let them know that they've gotten this really great feedback. Here we go. Here goes. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So we tell on ourselves. I know people get all weird about that, but I think, it's not bragging if it's the truth. You don't have to be an ass about it. You can say, look how great we are without sounding like you're bragging or boasting. But I think the Amplify has everything to do with making sure that you're telling people what's happening. So whenever we have a success story with a referral partner, it's part of our next training session with the referral source. And because we have them on a routine training regimen, they get to hear, hey, guess what happened last month with your leads? And here's 1 or 2 really rock star stories. So that's one of the ways that we amplify it. And then internally, we have something called above and beyond. And when we hear of somebody going above and beyond, because what gets rewarded gets repeated, man, we are celebrating those team members big time across the entire company. So those are a couple of the ways that we amplify what's happening in the company.
Excellent. Everybody should write that down. What gets rewarded gets repeated. Okay. So how else are you going to amplify your brand? I'm going to give you a couple of things. And anybody feel free to jump in, by the way. One, Sherry said it earlier, is through referrals. When you get done with any job, you should ask the question, did we do a great job for you? Okay. If they did, who else do you know? Now write this down. Who else do you know that could benefit from what we just delivered for you, or a portion of what we just delivered for you? That question right there, if we said master referrals, master your destiny. Now, the first, have we done a great job for you? If they haven't, do you want to know it? If you haven't, do you want to know?
You need to know. You have to know.
You have to know. So we have to face these things head on. If you have done a great job for them, You want them to say, yes, we've done a great job. You've done a great job. Who else do you know? So you get referrals. Number two, would you be open? Write this down. Would you be open to giving a testimonial? Now, not will you give us a testimonial. Everybody wants to be open, even if they're closed-minded. They will never tell you, I'm not open to doing it. This is a power phrase. Would you be open to giving us a testimonial? Now, what's the difference between a review and a testimonial?
Well, I mean, I think that a testimonial it's a more of an emotional, it's not, here's your 5 stars, thanks a lot. I mean, normally a testimonial's got some emotional bite to it.
Or it's
Absolutely.
personal.
So do you think it's personal? That's right. So now you've made a connection. Once they've given you a verbal testimonial, once they've gone on video for you or written out a testimonial that you can utilize on your website. How many of you could use more testimonials? Everybody. Because we're in a digital world. And when you can start getting videos, you can start getting them to write comments, you can start to add them to your website. AI is going to go out and pull them for the AI search. Also, Google and the natural search engines is going to go start pulling this in. And your reputation, when you ask, AI, whether you're asking Grok or whether you're asking, any other version of it out there, it's going to say you. Who is the person I need to go to for this? This is the person that has all the testimonials. This is the person that has all the reviews. This is the person that has built the reputation out there, and you're the one that they're going to recommend. Is that making sense? So would you be open to giving us a review? What is the next way that you can amplify it? What are you going to do when you get the review? What are you going to do when you get the testimonial? Okay. The first thing you do is you ask people to tell about you. Is that right? You ask your customers, will you tell the world what I do? Will you post this in a Facebook group? Will you give me a testimonial? Will you give me a review? But what's the second thing you got to do? Everybody say it's up to me. Point at yourself. Say it's up to me to tell the world what I do. If we were going to wait just for our customers and we're going to wait for our reputation to precede us, we're going to be on the back seat of the train. We're going to be at the caboose. It's not that world anymore. And we started this 2-part series with Michael Seitz asking, how do I, go out there and share this to the world without people thinking I'm bragging? And we said, you got to quit caring what other people think. You look at the people that are doing it, and they are tooting their own horn to some extent. You have to. You have to quit worrying about what anybody thinks. You have to quit caring. They're not going to be there at the end of your life. They're not the ones that's really doing business with you anyway. They're the critic. Quit caring what the critic counts and start focusing on getting your message out there to the world. You are the brand, and your personal brand and your business brand are connected. And the only way the world is going to know is if you're sharing it consistently with the world. And the person that's in charge of that more than anybody else, even your customers, is you. It's meaning that you have to take, when you deliver on a job, you have to ask people to share it, but you also have to be the one, make that decision yourself that you are going to be the one that goes out and shares it with the world. And if you will go out there every single day, and every time you deliver your promise, let the world know we just delivered to another happy customer. We just did exactly what we said. And if you will, when you deliver, put the cherry on top of the cake, add the little plus at the end of it, then your reputation is going to start to build. And you do it consistently, you do it over and over again, then And starting, everybody say now,
Now.
starting now. Anybody have any questions?
I just want to say your competition is out there tooting their own horn. And it seems to me like the worse they are, the louder their horns are. And so we just have to make sure that the voice that our clients hear is us, because we have products and solutions to really solve their problems and not add more problems. So we owe it to them to get out of our own way and tell everybody.
Absolutely. So, the competition's out there doing it. And remember, go out there, pick out the 2 or 3 people in your niche that are doing better than you. And then figure out what you do better than them. And then every single day, deliver it. Ask your customers to share it. Ask your customers, Jay, you've got your hand up. Ask your customers to share it. And then you have to share it. You have to be the one that's constantly putting that content out there to the world. And remember, I'll finish in just a second. Jay?
Yeah, I was just going to say, somebody that's struggled. I just made a video on TikTok the other day about struggling with self-confidence. And, my entire life was about struggling with self-confidence and getting out there. And I never put my business out there like I have in these past 3 years. And I had a conversation with Kim, and she was telling me that I was telling not the truth and all that good stuff. But anyway, bottom line was, she looked at me and she was like, they're going to judge you whether you're rich or whether you're poor, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether you're driving a BMW, whether you're driving a Honda. It doesn't matter. Just do you, boo. Get on the computer and start making those videos, because she knew that those videos would ultimately raise our status in the world. And it really has. Like, me making those videos and me getting out there and doing that stuff has made a huge thing. And I put a song that she made me listen to the other day, which was Broken Rust, Walk That Walk. That Broken Rust band just has a lot of really good songs that, like, if you get in a moment where you're having problems, I either go to music, or I go to Les Brown, or I go to, Zig or Jim or whoever it may be, or Billy. So just, if you're having moments of doubt, reach out to those others that can empower you. So
that's awesome. Jay, can you imagine running your business without social media, without making those videos every day that you put out? And if y'all aren't following Jay, just go watch what he does. He is just constantly, he's just building a following. He's letting the world know what he's doing. He's letting the world know what he did, letting the world know who he's done it for, and delivering, and he's doing it in creative ways. And your first video was probably awkward, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Was it uncomfortable? You remember the first video?
Oh yeah, I still have them on my phone. Yeah.
Guys, we threw out videos here for over a year and we barely scratched the surface. We put out videos now, and yesterday got over 1 million views within 18 hours. So it's consistency. If we weren't consistent and we wasn't doing it over and over again, it wouldn't matter. So it's an everyday, all the time thing, not a sometime thing. But if you will do this, again, just go above and beyond. Do it consistently. Let the world know what you're doing and who you're doing it for. It will start to catch on. It will get traction through that consistency, and you will wake up 2 months from now and go, what happened? 3 months from now and go, man, this is starting to, catch on. 6 months from now, man, we're really, advancing our business forward. We're getting new customers that we didn't get before. Is that what, Kelly? I mean, that's, I have people, my cell phone accidentally got put on our website. I got 3 calls yesterday. Okay. I mean, I'm just, and I was like, how did you get my number? I finally found out on the 3rd call. And so, remember this is urgent. We're in this world where things are coming at us from every single direction. But if you get clear and you get focused, and you go out there and deliver every single day and do the things that we shared, then you're going to start to advance above and beyond your competition. You're going to wake up and not only be the best in the world, but instead of building this secret that we talked about, you're literally going to have people now that start to know, here's who you are, and here's what you do. Here's what you're delivering. And not only that, this guy, this gal, this person, this business is the best in the world at what you do. And remember, you're not just building a business, you're building a reputation, which leads to your legacy. Guys, we love you. We hope you've really got a whole lot out of this two-part series. You should really get both videos, go back and listen to them consistently, get your plan in order, okay? And as we said earlier, when we started this out today, we said, how many of you have taken action on the things we shared last week? I'm going to get your hand right now, or a commitment, or in the comment. And I know we're 4 minutes over, but I want you to write in the comment, I'm committed. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take MFA, massive focused action. And if you do, you'll get results. Type it in the comment. If you're committed, we're not going to shut the call off till whoever decides they're going to write down I'm committed in the comments writes I'm committed.
Billy, while they're doing that, I just want to remind everybody, like I had a call with Stan today, please, 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 in your Movement app, or if you're not doing it on the phone, use it on your computer. All these recordings are posted there. All the Monday Mindset, these Tactical Tuesdays, everything is there. So you can go back and rewatch as much as you want. So make sure you're diving into that every day.
And if you were on this for the first time, like today, and you missed last week,
Yeah.
last week is imperative to get today. It's almost impossible for you to understand, to get everything out of today unless you were here last week. But if you get last week and this together, all the dots are going to be connected in this big circle. Master your niche, consistently deliver, amplify, amplify, amplify. All right, guys, lots of commitments. Keep rocking. We love you and God bless.